Brock steals a seat between the two of them, so Cooper is squashed between beefy Brock on one side and the stuffed unicorn on the other. Cooper has spent a lot of time stressing over his first roller coaster experience. It's 1,000 times worse than he expected. The only good thing about it is that he's jammed into a seat so tightly that he can't possibly be flung out of the car to his death. First, the ride ratchets you up really slowly, groaning all the way, to a height unimaginable without a helicopter. Then you drop like a stone straight down. Cooper leans over to try to see Jolie, but Brock is in the way, howling at the top of his lungs. And through it all, Roddy is shouting urgently into the earbud, "What manner of suffering is this? Art thou being tortured?" At the very last second, the car swoops out of the free fall and climbs another hill for another drop. It goes on and on. It never gets better, and Cooper never gets used to it. Roddy had it right, he reflects. We art being tortured. Yeah, verily. Just when Cooper can't take it anymore, the car lurches to a stop, which is even more violent than the part that came before. Jolie jumps off the ride, flushed with pleasure. That was extreme. Cooper isn't sure he can move his rubbery legs until Brock pulls him out of the car, unicorn and all. The soccer star wobbles down the ramp to the nearest trash can, bends over it, and throws up his hot dog and in a single heave. He wipes his mouth on his sleeve and roars, "Let's go again!" All Cooper wants to do is find a quiet place to lie down until his stomach drops out of his throat, but there's no way he's going to leave Jolie with that giant doofus. This is Cooper's day, after all. Brock just horned in on it, thanks to Veronica's big mouth. So they go again, and again. They ride the loose nuke 4 times, and catalysm twice, and the decapitator once. The catalysm is so violent that the unicorn goes spinning off out of the car on one of the loop-the-loops, and Cooper's phone almost follows it. At the last second, he's able to snatch his GX4000 out of the air, but the unicorn is gone for good. "Save me, Cooper Vega! What's the sorcery?" Roddy wails into his earbud. At the end of the ride, the ghost's image on the screen looks a little pale. Jolie is just suggesting that they go on the G-Force free fall parachute drop when her parents text her to meet them at the gate because it's time to go home. Cooper has never been so grateful for anything in his life. "It was so awesome of you to meet me here," she exclaims, throwing her arms around Cooper and hugging him. In that tiny, perfect instant, 2 hours of nonstop terror and gut-wrenching nausea disappear in a puff of smoke, when she spoils it by saying exactly the same thing to Brock and embracing him too. The two boys stand side by side, watching her run off to meet her family. "Don't even think about it, kid," Brock tells him once she's out of earshot. "What are you talking about?" Cooper demands. "You know, Jolie." "Hey," Cooper's angry. "She asked me to come here today. You're the party crasher. Just remember who's Romeo and who's the loser with the one line in Act 5. They part, definitely not as friends. When Cooper takes out his phone to text Veronica for the ride home, Roddy's there to greet him. "A triumphant day, Cooper Vega." "Yeah, sure. You're not the one who's about to barf up every meal he ate going back to last February." "Well, worth the sacrifice," Roddy insists. "Would not Barnabas gladly exchange some suffering to be near his beloved Ursula?" "Barnabas died," Cooper reminds him. "Maybe not on a roller coaster, but it still counts. 'Twas Romeo who died, thanks be to that thief Shakespeare," the ghost corrects him. "Barnabas was to win the love of his fair lady and live in a bliss ever and anon." "I don't think that's going to happen with me," Cooper complains. "You heard Brock. He's after Jolie. Big time. And he's got the inside track because she's Juliet, he's Romeo, and I'm What's-His-Face." Roddy looks out at him, his expression solemn. "Hear me. Thou shalt also learn the part of Romeo." "What for?" Cooper asked dejectedly. "I'm second watchman, and I can't even get that right. Brock is a naughty padded wits-to-let buffoon. He is unfit for a role such as Romeo. He will fail and thou shalt become his replacement. Thus will Jolie be drawn to thee. 'Tis foolproof." Cooper stares at the ghost on the screen. Okay, Brock isn't a natural actor like Jolie, but he's doing a halfway decent job as Romeo. How can Roddy be so sure that he's going to drop out? And there's an even bigger problem with the ghost's plan. How am I supposed to learn all Romeo's lines? I won't get any rehearsal time because it's not my part. Thou dost forget, Cooper Vega. I wrote that play. No one knoweth Romeo better than I. I shall teach thee. All right, next chapter in the next video. Bye, guys.